Hello and welcome back to Yoostis, Ace Attorney. Right, we were here. What was it he said? Either the musician or the prosecutor? Well, I'm gonna present my badge. Wow. We need something dramatic. Oh, how did I accidentally switch the igniter? There we go. And you don't want my badge either. Hey, do you know this headset? That looks like one of our tour-issued headsets. How are you wearing it, Fraulein? I thought it'd be cool. I could pretend I was concert security and stuff. Actually, we found it at the venue and thought you might want it. Oh no, please, you keep it. It goes well with your cape, Fraulein. You think? She does look like she belongs on stage, that's for sure. And he just does not care. Okay. Remote trigger. Prosecutor Gavin, about this remote. Wait, excuse me, did you say something? This remote control might be valuable ammunition for the trial tomorrow. It's too early to show my hand now. You would think someone with such a loud voice would speak more clearly, yeah? I guess so, but you know what? Who cares? We're not going to talk about that. We're going to look at your guitar. That was an impressive bit of pyrotechnics. That did this. That's a guitar from the concert, isn't it? I thought it was one of the staff playing a gag on me. I never guessed that it wasn't the end of it. I had a specialist analyze the guitar, incidentally. Oh, did you find anything out? He didn't have a lot of time, so it's still unclear. But the results he came up with were intriguing. Intriguing? How does that guitar tie into everything that went on? Sounds like something we should ask about. More guitars! More guitars! Oh, hold on, I should check my audio. There we go. Look at all the guitars. Why so many? You can never have too many guitars. They're like my lovers. I didn't just hear him say that. They're backup guitars, Apollo. Don't you know anything? Rock and rollers always smash their guitars at the end of the show. No wonder it's so hard to make it as a musician. You know what? You should try rocking a little, Apollo. And breaking his guitars while he watches? That might be a little too rocking. Of course, I would never do such a thing. Did I not say they are like my lovers? Do I seem like the kind of man who would do such a thing to the ones he loves? No, not at all. I mean, you're Mr. Gavin, an upstanding prosecutor. What happened to Prosecutor Gavin, god of rock? What's wrong, Apollo? You look confused. I was just wondering where the work chair in this office was. You're looking at my favorite chair right now. That's a massage chair, isn't it? That is an ergonomic adjustable office. I love the ones with the vibrating rollers on your back. Those feel great. Did I say something wrong? No, I merely realized the futility of an explanation. That does look like a nice chair, though. Looks like a very sturdy base. What's that? What's that on the plate there? Is that gum? Gum? Maybe he was chewing it when the phone rang, so they put it in the plate for later consumption. You'd think a rock star could afford a fresh stick. Don't jump to any conclusions now. That's no chewing gum. Take a closer look. Although I really shouldn't be offering, should I? What is that? It looks like a lump of plastic? Wait, that phone call. A replica? A replica egg! Fake egg! Prosecutor Gavin, does this have something to do with Mr. Lettuce? Wait a second. You were listening to my phone call, weren't you? Who? Us? I tried to stop him, really, but he forced me to. Hey, you were the one digging in for a scandal, Miss Reporter. To tell the truth, I'm not even sure what it is. But apparently, it's a model of something undercover agent Mr. Lettuce was after. This lump? Would you mind telling us what you know about it? Wow, look at that stereo. To me, a life without music is inconceivable. I never turn down the volume, even when I'm working on a case. That's such a huge speaker. It must be really loud. This room is completely soundproof, of course. Really? At my place, I can hear what the neighbors would turn on their VCR to record something. Maybe you can get Mr. Wright to talk to them, work something out? And lately, we've been getting complaints about Apollo's voice training. Maybe I'll go have a word with Mr. Wright, too. Oh, that's just a window. The view is exhilarating, yeah? I sit here, gazing down upon the city, writing my songs. Try working on cases. It is the same thing. I write lyrics the same way I corroborate evidence. It is a harmony between logical mind and the primal spirit within. Is it so hard to admit that you like staring out your window and daydreaming? This display shows all the evidence for the case. Look, Apollo! He's got 3 televisions! Hey, don't look at those too closely. I'm still sorting out the details. Each monitor shows evidence for a different case. He does them all at once? I wish I had 3 TVs. What would you possibly do with 3 television sets? I mean, maybe those aren't TVs since he's putting stuff on them. They're monitors, and I completely understand having multiple monitors. Everyone should have at least 2. I may look laid back and relaxed, but in reality, I'm quite busy, you know. I'm living life at turbo speed, doing magic, going to school, investigating cases. But if I had 3 big TVs, I could watch a magic video, do my homework, and catch a crime drama all at once. First 2 seem useful, I suppose. Alright, what's up, Gavin? Talk about the case. That reminds me, did you see the paper today? Yes? I always read the TV section. Good girl. How about you, Air Forehead? I read the funnies. Then you will not have seen this. Concert of Tragedy, the prosecutor's deadly song. Ooh, is that a new show? I haven't heard about that one. It's not a show. It's an article. News, you know? Oh, does this have anything to do with the case? Since getting back from the trial, my phone has been ringing off the hook. How does it feel to take a man's life with a song? Have you ever hummed a man all the way to death row? Do you think you could sing for me over the phone? It is endless. Endless! Thanks to the case you made today, of course. Oh, that was all Apollo's idea. Hey! Is that a newspaper over there, too? Ah, yes. The Virginian Daily Bugle. Go ahead, take a look. Thanks. But I can't read Virginian. Oh, that's right. Suffice it to say, this is big news over there as well. Though they didn't go so far as to mention the lyrics to my song. Probably no one in Virginia could believe it. It's probably seen as just a theory at this point. The journalists didn't see the need to mention it. And that makes sense. I hardly know what to think of it myself. Yeah, Virginian newspaper! Danmoir's testimony will probably be in the evening edition, I'd imagine. Which is why I've had Darian step down from the investigation for now. Yeah, we ran into him moping in front of the Coliseum. Danmoir was my invited guest, so it is a rather delicate situation. You understand how much I want to solve this case. Quickly, if possible. I really love that song. It has such a great atmosphere to it. You co-wrote it with Lenoir, if I remember correctly. That's right. It was last year. I had gone to tour Borginia's legal system. As a matter of fact. I went to tour Borginia's legal system, as a matter of fact. There we go. That's better. And that's when you heard Lenoir's voice? It was at a small jazz club. I wept that night. I knew I had to meet her, to talk with her. So I used my influence, which is not inconsiderable, to arrange a meeting. Wow, prosecutors really have a lot of clout. I think it's sort of a special case, Tracy. Thankfully, she liked the work I did, and we wrote a song right there, backstage. Maki on piano, that dulcet voice. and my cell phone guitar that I borrowed from Lamoire. And music history was made. Probably not an experience your average lawyer would ever have, like a Apollo, say. It is a memory I hold dear, and the song we wrote that night was this. And that very guitar is right over there. You mean this charred lump? Don't call it a lump. It's a piece of history. It's only browned, not really charred. No matter, I shall never sing that song again. I wouldn't have used that guitar again either, even if I could have. What happened during that song anyway? Why did his guitar suddenly catch on fire? Do you think you could show it to us? Your charred, slightly burnt guitar? I'm sure he doesn't mind. What more could happen to it? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. Guitar befitting a woman like Lamoire. How did it end up here? She gave it to me. I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. So this guitar is from Borginia? That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lamoire's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched. See, prosecutors do have a lot of clout. I still think he's a special case. Such a valuable guitar. It's too bad it got burned. I mean, slightly charred. I mean, browned. I mean, What was it they were saying earlier? Something about intriguing results from an examination of the guitar? That's right! What was that all about? Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It is called the sound hole. Ah, so that's what it's called. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yes, this, in fact. The examiner is busy with evidence for the case now, however. So he'll be checking this out once he's finished with everything else. Odd. That device looks strangely familiar. A strange lump. This was found in Mr. Lettuce's bag. It's apparently a replica of something. A replica? A small lump, about 1.5 inches long. We analyzed it, but there's not much to say other than it's a lump of plastic. Perhaps it was to be used in the identification of whatever it was a replica of. You mean, whatever Mr. Lettuce was after. That seems to be the most logical explanation. Well? What is it? Don't ask me, Fraulein. Oh? If you don't want to tell us, you could just say so. I've put in a request to Interpol via my contacts in Borginia, but apparently there's a block on information somewhere along the chain. Oh? There's something either Interpol or Borginia doesn't want to share. Something about this little piece of plastic. Mr. Lettuce went through all that trouble to become Lamoire's manager, just to come to this country to find out more about this lump? And he died for it. I've sent someone out to the Colosseum to fetch Lamoire. Perhaps she knows something about it, being a Borginian. Talk about the egg! Never mind, you don't want to talk about the egg. Talk about your guitar. You don't want to talk about your guitar. Now let's take a look at this. It is the same image as what's on the postcard. And a picture of Mr. Lettuce as well. It has to be one of these. What is it, Apollo? That device that was found in your guitar. Take a look at this. Why, that looks like the same thing. What is it? It's an igniter. Another one? It was at the crime scene in Lamoire's dressing room. Detective Sky found it, actually. At the scene of the crime. What did that mean, I wonder? I believe that covers everything I'm at liberty to talk to you about. Oh. Thanks for dropping by. Air Forehead. Thanks? Why, you gave me so much information. That igniter, for instance. Oh, that. I've never met an attorney so forthcoming with the prosecution. It's a big help. Or perhaps you're just a tad naive, hmm? I guess I could have hit it, but somehow showing it felt like the right thing. I could say the same to you, Prosecutor Gavin. Thanks for the information. About the, strange lump of plastic. The one that Mr. Lettuce was investigating. Hey, that's right. I've been thinking, Forehead. We encounter many incidents in our lives, all of us. Not all of them simple. Especially not the ones where people are killing to song lyrics. That is why I try to at least remain simple inside. And I keep a simple goal, to discover the truth. That's why I like to keep relations civil, yeah? That is all. I can live with that. Mr. Prosecutor? Fräulein? Can I ask you why you sing in a band? Because I want women to turn and look when I walk down the street. That's pretty simple, too. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got work to do. Another time, perhaps. Probably want to go to the detention center next. Oh, something has changed. Looks like Maki is in questioning. Huh. The police must have a Burginian interpreter. That's no fair. I wish we could talk to him. I guess I'll just have to come back. I guess we'll just have to come back later if we want to see him. I guess so. All right. Which just leaves the Colosseum. Oh. Oh, hey, Emma. Oh, it's you. You came at a good time. Hello there, Emma. What's up? Either of you know where Lemoire is? Well, I saw her in the backstage hallway a while ago. Yeah, that's strange. What's strange? I can't find her anywhere. I was supposed to bring her to the prosecutor's office. Lemoire's missing? It's hard to imagine her wandering off somewhere on her own. Being that she's blind and all. Yeah. We'll help you look for her. Great, thanks. I'm gonna go right back to the detention center. Never mind, she's not being used as an interpreter. This place is deserted. I wonder where Lemoire went off to. I'm sure she's okay on her own. She seems resourceful. I guess, but I can't help but worry about her a little. The headpiece is gone! Hold on, can I examine the lack of a headpiece? No, I cannot. Alright, well. Let's at least check the Blue Badger again. That would be the Blue Badger, the police mascot. The guy outside in a giant Blue Badger costume lumbering about. Stands out even more than those Gaviners posters. It's all the same. He's the band mascot too, you know. I can't picture Prosecutor Gavin going for that kind of thing. Neither can I. I'll bet there's a story there just waiting to be told. Probably not. Probably just, you know, wanted to grab something. Why is it so dark? In the wings. Huh? The stage is pitch dark. Power breaker must be off for this section. Great. I'll go get someone. It was really dark out there. Dark. That's all Lemoire has when you think about it. What would it be like to live in a world of darkness? Hey, Apollo. Huh? What? Doesn't something about the stage seem different to you? Like, something's changed? Changed? I can't put my finger on it, but it's bugging me. Now it's bugging me too. What's she talking about? Probably... Oh, I don't want to leave. It's probably this. Hey, that case. Wasn't that open before? Huh. I guess someone closed it. Wait, look. Where the case closes. Something's sticking out. Something's sticking out. That doesn't look like an instrument. You don't think it's... Let's open it, Apollo! Lenoir! Lenoir! Emma! We have to get Emma! Lenoir was taken directly to the hospital. Emma ran around barking orders, making phone calls. Trucy just clung to my arm and cried. And me? I was still in shock. 2 bodies in 2 days is too many. Emma? How's Lenoir? Is she okay? You. We all owe you a big thanks, that's for sure. So, she's okay? Yes. She came to a short while ago. We found her before it was too late. That's good to hear. So, what happened? Someone attacked her. She was struck on the forehead. By who? We don't know. But they hit her on the forehead, right? That's right in front of her. Trucy. How could she not see? Oh. Right. Would you like to see her now? Is that all right? She wants to thank you for saving her life. Lenoir. Ah, Mr. Attorney. You were the one who found me? Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm just glad you're okay. Tell me, what happened? It was after I spoke with you in front of the dressing room. I sensed someone approaching. I thought it might be someone coming to see me, but they said nothing. When I went to return to my dressing room, you were hit? I knew. That very moment I knew. The assailant was trying to kill me. Oh. It was lucky for me the first blow did not knock me out. I turned and ran for the stage. Someone was chasing me. I could hear the footsteps. Yet I reached the stage first. Why the stage? I had overheard maintenance people talking. The power to the stage area was off, they said, for electrical work. Darkness is my ally. There was a contrabass case near the stage. That is where I hid. So the assailant couldn't see you. Once in the case, I'm afraid I passed out. Wow, that sounds like a really close call. Do you have any idea who it might have been? Unfortunately, no. Whoever it was, they said not a word. Too bad. Yet, when I consider that I was struck high on the forehead, I must conclude that whoever hit me was taller than I am. Good point. She's sharp. And you're much taller than I am. You're about as tall as Apollo. So, that means it was likely an adult. And probably a man. Could it be him? But why would anyone attack you, Lenoir? The detective asked me this too. And to her I gave the same answer I give you. I do not know. Hey, Lenoir, I wanted to ask you about this. Do you know what this is? This is what? Mr. Lettuce was carrying it. It's a replica of the thing he was after. He was after? You know, in his secret identity. As an undercover agent. So that's what he was doing. You mean, you know what? Yes, I know, of course. This must be a Borginian cocoon. Or rather, a convincing replica thereof. Why haven't I heard of a Borginian cocoon before? Why would he be carrying this around? Was it some kind of souvenir? I wonder. I mean, if it's a cocoon, that means it's a silk moth cocoon of some kind. So they have, like, Borginian silk moths. So that means somebody's trying to smuggle Borginian silk moths. Or silkworms, rather. And if they're doing that, they're trying to recreate an industry outside of Virginia. What about this guitar that you gave Gavin? Nope. Looks like she's had a rough day. I'll just put this piece of evidence away for later. Tell me about the newspaper. You don't know anything about the newspaper. Headset? Nope. Alright. Anything else that I've got? I think nothing new, really. Do you want your brooch back? Alright, well... Oh, wait, hold on. I need to examine the hospital. The Hickfield Clinic. What are you guys doing? What's at reception? Nurse watches, hawk-like, from the reception desk. She glares at me whenever I talk. Maybe my voice carries? Maybe. Maybe. That must be a recovering patient. He keeps staring at us. What's so unusual about an attorney and a magician? I don't know. It could be anything. Door down the hall reads X-ray room. I never did like X-rays. I don't think I'd enjoy looking at somebody's insides. Spotting nervous habits is intense enough. What's on TV? Some visitors are here in the waiting room watching TV. Murder during a concert at Sunshine Coliseum. Huh. Looks like we're on the news. With his current hit song, Guilty Love, is in the courtroom as prosecutor, singing the defendant all the way to death row. Prosecutor Gavin this, Prosecutor Gavin that. Where's my 15 minutes? Guitar's Serenade, on sale now. On sale now. Gotta put that commercial practice to work. Gotta go down on your words. Alright, detention center. Never mind. Hey, Gavin. Never mind. Sunshine Coliseum. Let's check the dressing rooms. Nothing. Also nothing. In that case, it is time to... Oops, not that one. I don't know why, but I remember in one of these cases, there was like a small pixel with evidence underneath. Like a couch. I don't know if that was this case or the last case, but it's really stuck in my head. But in this case, you can't see underneath those couches, so who knows? Maybe they just made it so... Maybe it was the lighter, the igniter, and they just made it so Emma gave it to you instead of having you, like, search that pixel at the bottom of the chair. That'd be nice, but I doubt it. The stage again? No? Okay. Probably Lamrar has something else for me. Oh, you know what? She might talk more about the cocoon. Yeah, that would make sense. I should probably, you know, like, check her dialogue again. Ah, there it is. Well, they call it Borginian. It must only be found in Borginia. For certain, all in Borginia know of these. It's cocoon, so do you get silk from it? I do not know the details, I'm sorry to say. I thought she said all in Borginia knew of these. There is one fact I do know about the cocoon, though. Something all in Borginia know. What's that? The cocoons. They're not to be taken out of the country. If someone does and is caught, they'll be put to death. To death? Why? I do not know. Yet, if Interpol was involved, I'm sure there is a good reason. But this is just a piece of plastic. He was carrying a replica, but was looking for the real deal. That's my best guess. Oh, so that's what he was up to? Tracking down Borginian cocoon smuggling. Smuggling. It seems I was marked. Marked? Life changed for me with the popularity of my songs. I began to travel around the world. Ah, so you could have brought those Borginian cocoons with you. On my trips, yes. That was probably the suspicion. And Mr. Lettuce was placed as an undercover agent to look into it. Borginia is a small, sheltered country. Not many of our people venture into the world outside. Is that why they suspected you? But Mr. Lettuce wasn't Borginian, was he? Was he? He was an Interpol agent, which means... What, Apollo? There must be some reason why Borginia doesn't want those cocoons getting out. Something scary enough to get Interpol involved. Huh? Like what? How could such a tiny ball of thread cause such a commotion? Cocoon smuggling. And Mr. Lettuce had Lamoire marked. It couldn't be her. There's one other person I need to talk to. Thank you for talking to us, Lamoire. It was the least I could do. Actually, I have another request. If it is within my power, I need an interpreter. Someone who speaks Borginian. Apollo? Would you come with us, if you're well enough? I see. Yes. Yes, of course. I shall accompany you. Huh? Where are we going? Come on, Trucy. We're about to get to the bottom of this. Straight to the detention center. Hey, you little shit! Maki, we came to talk to you about the case. Maki. Did you interpret for us, Lamoire? Yes. Maki, I'd like to talk to you about when we first met. When we still thought you were blind. Webdings. Now we know the truth. You can see, right? I was completely fooled myself. Maki. Isn't there another secret you're hiding from us? Wait, Mr. Attorney! What do you mean by secret? What do I mean by secret? Well, if I'm not mistaken, you know something about this, don't you? Hey, you got a reaction! A big one! Maki, you didn't! Trucy and I are trained to see people's uncertainty. Not that we would have needed any training to see that one. Mr. Attorney, please tell me what this is all about. Lamoire, please, interpret. Very well. I know you know something about this by your reaction. If you won't tell me, I might have to give it to the prosecution. And have them look into it. Webdings! He asks you to wait. Do not be so hasty. Maki? You understand me? He at least knows give this to the prosecution, which is a little advanced. Do you know everything? Yes, everything. Well, sort of. Have him tell us about it. Very well. Present egg! Again! Maki, he is upset he could not speak with you. Well, let's hear him out before he gets grumpy, Apollo. Tell me about this. It was in the piano. Okay. Never mind. Alright, it really is just all talking for now. Sick! Tell us about the cocoon. What is this cocoon anyway? The cocoon, the silk is a potent cure. A cure? It must cure some disease. It's a cure for incuritis. A cure for incuritis? But if it's a cure, why keep it in Borginia like that? Just think of all the lives they could save by sharing the medicine. Borginia is a small country, Trucy. If this is literally their entire economy, then I do not understand the reasons myself. Okay, well, at least we know what it is. A cure. Mr. Lettuce was after the cocoon smugglers. Wait. Was Maki? Maki, you weren't. He couldn't be a smuggler. He's so little. Well, you're only 15 and you're sort of a magician, aren't you? Well, that's true. I am sort of a magician. She said sort of. Oh, to have a... She said sort of! Oh, to have a copy of that security camera tape. Well, Maki, are you a smuggler? Wingdings. won't tell me. First he plays blind, now he plays dumb. I wonder. Do you think he brought a cocoon here to sell it to someone? If Maki really did bring one into the country, was he planning on making a deal for its sale? I can't go home. Can't go home? I can't go home to Borginia. I do not want to go home. The penalty for taking a cocoon for Borginia is death. That's right, it's punishable by death. About the case. About what case? Want to tell us about Mr. Lettuce's death? This meeting's over. Darian? What do you mean? Visiting hours aren't over yet. There's a call from Maki from the Borginia embassy. This meeting's over. Sorry. Just give us 5 more minutes. We can call them back after that. Sorry, no go. Come on, piano boy, we're leaving. Darian, wait! I never liked you. Either of you. Huh? Oh, because we called out your shitty timing in the song. Darn it, you were so close. He was about to tell us. Hey, Apollo. He didn't want us to hear what Maki had to say. Apollo! And there can be only one reason why. Why is everyone ignoring me? Oh, sorry. This is it. I'm going to continue ignoring Trucy. I know who I'm after now. It all happens tomorrow. In court. Poor Trucy. To be continued. Defendant lobby number 2. Well, this is it. Oh wait, was that Trucy or oh that was Trucy? Okay. Today's the day it all goes down. And then there was yesterday. Wow, scum. I can't believe he doesn't like us. What a rude dude. What is there not to like about an attorney and a magician? What an unlikely pair. How quirky. And you hate that? And I think I know why. Time to bring down a little justice. Bang! What was that? He is heard but unseen. Who's that talking? Valiant Gramarye. Valiant Gramarye? I exclaimed as he walked in through the door. Normally. You aren't the witness today, are you, Uncle Valiant? Ha 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 ha! A preposterous proposition. How could I stand upon the stand? Why, my secrets would be free for the plucking. I might even have to sign autographs. That's why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day. Ooh, with vanishing magic? Indeed. I will jump upon an express train and express myself to the next town over. But before I go, a word of warning. Warning? What? The Grand Gramarye glamour resides at the root of all that has happened. Do not forget this truth. The glamour? A spell, a sorcery, a grand illusion. Miss Trucy, though it pains me to part so, I need to get in line for a ticket. Farewell! And there he goes. He sure seemed happy about that illusion thing. Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician. Can't pull off a show without one. Big illusion is always a spectacle to remember. Usually it involves cutting up things like people or elephants. Or the Eiffel Tower. Anything, really. So he was talking about what we saw at the concert. Lanoir's disappearing act. And Prosecutor Gavin's exploding guitar. I wonder what he meant by it being at the root of all that has happened. Well, it's about time. Shall we go? Zeraora and Pokemon was a douche. Excuse me, sir. Yes? The scheduled starting time for the trial has been changed. The trial will not be commencing until 10:30 a.m. Sorry for the inconvenience. Huh? Did something happen? This is a first. It was by the judge's request. Some urgent personal business. Great. Bet he stayed up too late last night watching courtroom dramas. Apparently, he's visiting the hospital again. A hospital? I believe it was mentioned that the Chief Justice's son is unwell. Apparently, his condition worsened considerably this morning. Chief Justice's son. Oh, that's right. Remember yesterday morning? The judge said he had to go visit him after the trial. There's an article about it in the newspaper. You care to read about it yourself. Was inflicted with incuritis! Incuritis? Where have I heard that before? I'll let you read that article for us, Apollo. Just leave the TV guide page to me. Try not to lose the page with the funnies if you can. "10:30 a.m. My apologies for the delay. Court is now in session for the trial of... how do you say this name again? Maki Tobai, our suspect fortissimo. Right. In his trial, in any case. The defense is prepared, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready to rock. Is something wrong, Your Honor? No, well, yes. It's just... I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time. Incuritis, was it? That article said there was no known cure. Herr Judge, let me say, with all honesty, I feel your pain. But now is not the time for tears. Now is the time for law. Indeed. We left off at quite the juncture yesterday. It was him! Can't believe Darian got fingered yesterday. As the culprit. Quite a sensational ending. Who would have thought Darian would guest star in the season cliffhanger as a suspect? I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please tell the court your findings. Darian Crescent is a member of my band, the Governors. He is also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet, after investigation, I have found no cause to alter our case or file new charges. And your reason is? Weren't you aware, Herr Forehead? He has an impeccable alibi. An alibi? Let us review the facts again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. The Governors ripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guest took center stage. The only performers appearing were myself, Lamoire, and Maki, along with the drummer and bassist, for a total of 5. The shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the third set. Lamoire and the defendant, Maki Towae, had left the stage at that point, and the Governors were already rocking. This is when 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. Shots heard by Detective Emma Skye, mind you. And Apollo. You heard them too, right? I sure did. Furthermore, Lamoire herself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime, which is still witnessing. Don't downplay it. When she claims to have heard Mr. Letus and Mr. Lettuce and Detective Crescent talking. But that's impossible. Detective Crescent was... Precisely. Detective Crescent was on stage, getting his groove on, no less. Voila. A perfect alibi. Does the defense have anything to add to this? It's true. When I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there's something here that doesn't quite add up. It appears the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say that Darian Crescent's alibi has been acknowledged, which means that Lamoire was sadly mistaken. Her testimony cannot be true. Very well. Of course, if we disregard her testimony, then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict. If indeed there are no objections... Uh-oh. Apollo! If he declares a verdict now... Prosecutor Gavin's case is airtight. Lamroir might have been lying to protect Maki. How can I rely on her testimony? Wait. What about yesterday in the detention center? Wingdings. Maki was trying to tell us something. I know it. Maybe the best thing to do is to ask him. Under oath. Very well. The court finds the defendant... what was his name again? Your Honor! No, that wasn't it. Something like Marquis or... Mr. Justice? Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness. Exactly who else do you need to hear from? A witness who, until now, has not been given a chance to speak in this court. Because he doesn't speak English. You don't mean... I do. The defense calls defendant Maki Tobaya to the stand. What? But he doesn't speak English. We'll use an interpreter. Interpreter? I am afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases such as, I love you, and where's the toilet? The defense would like to request Lamroir as the interpreter. Lamroir? There's a possibility she's protecting the defendant. But she'd be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she lie? This is most unusual. Bravo, Air Forehead. Judge, the prosecution agrees with the defense's request. If Lamroir lies, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of language should be enough for that. Well, if both prosecution and the defense are for this, I see little cause for refusal. Finally, some progress. Bailiff, please show the defendant and Lamroir to the witness stand. I suppose there's a first time for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name, to begin with. If you would, Lamroir. Yes. He says, Maki Tobaya, the defendant. This is certainly a first for this courtroom. Not that we really needed an interpretation of that message in particular. So far, so good. Very well. Mr. Justice, if you would. Huh? I would what, Your Honor? Well, what? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you have him testify about? What do I want him to testify about? Ugh. I haven't thought that far yet. Paulo! Aren't you going to ask him about what he was about to tell us yesterday? How can I if I don't know what he was saying? Excuse me for a moment, if I might speak. Yes, Lamroir? Just now, Maki said there is something about which he wishes to testify. Maki wants to testify about something. What could it be? What sort of testimony is he talking about? One moment, please. The suspense is killing me. What? Well, Lamroir? According to Maki, he has proof of his innocence. What? This is a surprise. Yahoo! Victory, Apollo! We did it! This is sounding too good to believe. And I know what that usually means. Well, if that's true, then this is vital testimony. Lamroir, I mean, Maki. Please testify to the court. Very well. He says that word of Mr. Lettuce's death came as a great shock. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song, he could not have done it. He says that is because lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. And, I mean, that seems a little sloppy, but okay, sure. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics to the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely. I wondered what he meant by proof. Why, he would only have to ask Lamroir to know the meaning of that song. Lamroir, did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him? I did tell him generally what the song was about, but never in so much detail, and he never asked. Has my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead? Armoire might be protecting the witness. Well, anyway, let's proceed with the cross-examination. Mr. Justice, if you would. Yes, Your Honor. Something's hidden in that testimony. I know it. I'll just have to trust my bracelet to tell me where. It worked yesterday. It'll work today. Pooh boy. Let's just, go straight over here. Let's perceive. Can't look at his hand. No. Let's go back. I already knew, you little shit. I knew you can understand English.
Gotcha!
Maki. Can't fool my eyes. You glanced towards her the very moment Lemoire said the word English. Why? And don't bother interpreting that. He understands me. Maki, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you? What are you saying? Of course he can't. Must he continue this charade? Mr. Justice, Maki says this. I know the word English. Huh? Before coming to this country, he heard me speaking English. He learned the name for this language, that is all. What? Give me a break. Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you not know Espanol, for instance? Well, yeah, but... I'm sorry, but he truly does not understand your language. Well then explain this. How does he know the crime, the fall of the lyrics? Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad? It is simple. So simple it hardly requires an explanation. He read about it in the newspaper. Newspaper? The Borginian Daily Bugle. You can buy it in this country these days, you know? They have already begun to report about this case in our homeland. I was right. What is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes, they're quite fierce all of a sudden. Maki is lying. Maybe it's time to show them proof that he's lying.
Take that!
Hey, I've got the newspaper right here. I have here a Borginian newspaper. The Borginian Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact. Indeed, there is a feature article about that case. Could you read this for me, Maki? That's right. It doesn't mention the lyrics. What? What is this all about? I'm sorry, Maki. You couldn't have read about the lyrics in the Borginian newspaper. Yo, the breakdown! The Wingdings breakdown! What does this mean? But I don't see how it's possible. I know! He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning. Yes! Not possible. The subject of the lyrics was not brought up in the police questioning. I read the full report myself. So, the lyrics weren't in the newspaper, and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard them was in this courtroom. In English, no less. The witness will explain himself. Maki says... He says... Yes? It is true, I read the newspaper. This is not where I learned of the lyrics. I was mistaken. Now I remember. You remember? He says he heard of the lyrics from me. What? Is this true, Lemoire? Yes. I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself. And it looks like Air's forehead's been jumping to conclusions again. It seems so, yes. No! I was onto something, I know it! Can't let this chance slip away. Time is an issue today. Mr. Justice, are you finished with the cross-examination? What gonna do, Apollo? I'm gonna keep on cross-examining. I better have an angle of attack. Or else. Bracelet's still reacting. Your Honor, please allow me to continue. If you must, you must. Very well. Witness? I understand.
Hold it!
Let's talk about that. Exactly how much did you explain to Maki? This is a question for me, yes? This interpretation thing is getting old real fast. I told him that Mr. Lettuce had been killed and why he was a suspect. And I told him that the crimes that day followed my song. Did you mention any particular words of the song relating to the case, such as heart? Yes, of course I explained this. He was quite surprised. Yay, I knew he was innocent! I believe he is too, Trucy. I do. What's wrong, Apollo? You got a tummy ache or something? Something's hidden in that testimony. It's the truth, I'll find it. Yeah, there's a big glaring mistake there. There's a big problem. Let's see if it's... Apollo was mentioning that's perceptible, but, like, the time frame is completely off, because how could he follow the song lyrics to murder if he didn't know what the song lyrics meant until after the crime? What about you? I guess why am I looking at her eyes? Hi!
Gotcha!
You're doing it again. You're covering for him. Stop gulping. Lenoir. I'm currently cross-examining Maki. Why should you be uncertain? Me? Uncertain? Yes. You swallowed the very moment you told the court it was I who explained. I see there is little point in trying to hide anything from you. Lenoir, are you indeed protecting someone? That is not a question with a simple answer. To tell the truth, I do not believe it myself. Then allow me to answer for you. Lenoir, you're protecting...
Take that!
Lenoir, you are protecting Maki. That's why you lied and told us that you had explained the crime followed the song. I don't fault you for trying to help, but this is not the way. Maki, I believe you didn't do it, really. I trust you. But you've lied to us twice. And now you have Lenoir lying on your behalf. This is going to work. You have to trust me, too. Your two lies cover up a simple truth. You understand English. You have to. He's screaming in English now! Screams in English. Witness, is this true? Do you understand English? Yes, a little only. What? First he could see, now he can talk. And you did not know about this Lenoir? No, I did not. It is quite a surprise. How many secrets is this witness hiding? This is last. Maki, could you tell us what really happened? No shooting. I did not shoot. I did not shooting. So, you weren't in the dressing room when I heard those 2 gunshots, correct? Apparently, the answer to that question isn't simple either. I was in dressing room, behind desk, manager, he on floor. Which would be after the shooting, right? Then, there is voice. Voice? Or voices? Was it you and Emma, Apollo? So when Maki went into the dressing room, Mr. Lettuce had already been shot. And then we came to the door. Panel high up. I take off. Run away. Run away. So it was you who escaped through that air vent. As the prosecution has upheld all along, no less. The defendant has admitted to being at the scene. Might we take this as a confession?
Objection!
No! He's clearly denied that he did it. I know shooting. Manager on floor. Already on floor.
Objection!
The victim had already been shot, you say? I find that hard to believe. The defendant understood the song lyrics. He was at the scene of the crime? He was at the scene of the crime. This can only mean one thing. He is the shooter. Does the defendant have anything to say to this? He's clammed up, Apollo. Then let's ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness? Is that it? Is there nothing else? Is there nothing else I can get him to testify about? Wait. No, of course there is. Hey Maki, tell us all about Borginian cocoons. That cocoon has to do something, has to have something to do with this. Maki, please, tell us the truth for your own sake. No, no more speak. Not to any of you. So much for your precious trust, Airforehead. Hey, you were the one who didn't believe him. Regardless, this brings us to an impasse. It does seem that the defense and the defendant are at odds. I doubt we are likely to learn anything more of value should this continue. I see no other course but to declare a 5-minute recess. The defense will work things out with the defendant so that we might proceed. Paulo Yoostis. That's Justice. Better learn how to say it if you ever want to get some. Leave. I know shooting. Maki claims Mr. Lettuce was already down on the ground when he entered the room. Maybe it was a trap and he walked right into it? Suddenly, I hear a revolver. Close. Very close. Then I hear a voice. You heard gunshots? Yes, it's true. I hear a revolver, but only sound. Wait, you're saying you went into the dressing room and found Mr. Mr. Lettuce already dead, and then you heard shots? If that's true. So, you were at the scene of the crime when you heard those shots? And you escaped through the air vent. I know. Huh? What do you know? I know if I opening vent, I can leave stage and backstage. So the vent went to both the stage and the backstage area? Is that what he means? Hey, he's right. Look, Apollo. Huh? Yeah. But how did you know it was connected like that? Wait, I bet his father was the architect that designed the hall or something. I hear this from Magician. Magician? Don't look at me! Magician, huh? Well, at least we're clear on one thing. Maki didn't shoot Mr. Lettuce. Yeah, but what does that leave us with? We're supposed to say he went into the room to find the body, and then he heard the shots? That one's going to go over well in court. Not. Paulo! You're his defense! You're supposed to believe whatever he says. Even lies. That's what Daddy always told me. I'll just pretend you misheard him. Every time. So, what do we do? You sure you won't testify, Maki? No talking. No. Well, it was worth a shot. That cocoon. Of course. He's scared. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to try a different approach. That's the spirit, Apollo. So, what's your plan? If Maki won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify. Someone else? I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there. Right! I'm gonna add a quick stream marker right here to cut things into segments easy.